Today's debate is not about whether or not skills acquisition is good. For a fact, skills acquisition is good. Rather, today's debate is about whether or not skills acquisition should be made mandatory for tertiary institutions. And to this end, I argue in the negative that skills acquisition should not be made mandatory for tertiary institutions. Tertiary institutions are strictly for the development of education purposes, either through theoretical teaching or practical work. The word mandatory challenges the independence, scheme and scope of tertiary education. Tertiary education and skills acquisition are not the same thing, stricto sensu. How do I mean from the following? Tertiary institutions are strictly for the development of education purposes, either through the classroom teachings, the laboratory works, and examination takings. For as an aspirant, I applied for my field of interest to be developed intellectually and to be well equipped in such academic field, and not to learn a vocation or a trade. If it were to learn a vocation or a trade, trust me, vocational schools are available. Mandatory and not meant for tertiary institutions. Tertiary institutions are designed to make independent decisions. Students will acquire skills and end up not using them, tantamount to an exercise in futility. Let us call a spade by its name. Tertiary institutions, tertiary education, skills acquisition are not the same thing. Let us separate the geese from the chick, or else the latter might kill the former. What goes for the geese does not always go for the ganders. The status quo on this policy debate is that skill acquisition is not mandatory, and this status quo is what I argue to uphold. Rather, we should work on the challenges facing our tertiary education and not complicate these challenges. Mandatory skill acquisition, a no-no for our tertiary institutions.